Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all. So I just want to go back and do a little discussion video here and talk about Lauren Murphy, one of her more recent interviews after her win over JoJo Calderwood, which she won the fight by split decision. She spoke on some possibilities of getting the title shot versus flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko. And she says that now is the time and that is to the fight makes sense for her. This title fight makes sense for her. She said that she's ready for the shot after going on that 5-fight winning streak, and it's time. Lauren Murphy believes that she has the style, the grit, experience to go in there and give Shevchenko a tough fight. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up the interview here. We can look through some of these spots. I'm sure some of y'all heard it by now, but I just want to go back and, of course, do a different angle to this video, this discussion video. But yeah, here we go. So Lauren Murphy said, look, 100% I earned the title shot. Who could deny that? Nobody in the division even has a resume close to what I have. Nobody has that 5-fight winning streak. None of my opponents have been a give me, except for the short notice fight. She did mention that. So she said it's either been top 10 opponents or short notice fight or the short notice fight, which wasn't her fault. Um, she said, I've never been close to getting finished. Every loss that I've had is either a former champion or a UFC title contender, so she's making it a point, but I know like we have been feeling like she hasn't really been calling out the champion enough, to make Dana White say, okay, 5-fight winning streak, let's make this fight happen. He hasn't really just went in and said, okay, it's a shoe in. Also, she brought up, the fact that she has the style to give Shevchenko trouble. She feels like she can solve that puzzle. She did also say this, look, I really do believe in my coaches and they believe in me. I think we can find holes in Valentina's game, and I think I'm strong enough to exploit them. I think I'm tough enough to get where I need to go with her. She hasn't faced anybody as tough as me. She hasn't faced anybody that can grind like I can grind. Seriously, I mean, look at my resume and my past fights. Have the biggest heart. I'm one of the toughest girls, not just in this division. I'm one of the toughest girls ever. I'm the strongest girl in the division. I'm a huge flyweight, and I think my top game in jiu-jitsu is second to none. So she was making a lot of arguments there why she feels like she can give her trouble, Valentina Shevchenko. But that's the question in this video I want to discuss with y'all real quick. We talked about it in the live stream not too long ago, but the question, let's talk. What can Lauren Murphy do to really make this a tough fight? What can she really do to make this a tough fight for Valentina Shevchenko? Can she make it a tough fight? I do agree that Lauren Murphy is one of the toughest in the division. And yes, she is one of the toughest girls in WMMA and MMA. I'm going to give her that. She is tough. She's tough as hell. She's gritty. She's one of the strongest. She is a big flyweight, but of course, it's going to take more than that. So how can she make this a tough fight? Well, just looking back at her 5-fight winning streak, you have to look at those wins and see where she was most dominant. And, we can really look at where her strengths were. We also have to look at those close razor thin decisions that she got too that went her way, to see what her weaknesses were and her strengths, what her strengths were in that fight as well. I think honestly, I think for me to make this a tough fight with Valentina Shevchenko, she brought up a good point. That really is her best chance, and her effective work would be from her wrestling and her grinding, her grinding wrestling. If she can get Valentina in a position like half guard or top position to control the hips, she could possibly be effective. She can make it a rough and ugly fight because it's not going to be something that she wants to make a technical fight right away with Valentina Shevchenko, where she can compute and just kind of piece her up and break her down from there and say, okay, this is what Lauren Murphy is bringing. It has to be an offsetting, uncomfortable fight. And Lauren Murphy does bring that hard grinding style, that physical style that she'll need. And then you just factor in the size and ability, her ability to use her size. She could benefit that in this fight, with the grinding and the putting all the weight on Shevchenko and just kind of slowing the pace down and taking rounds by dominant position and control time. It might be boring, but that might be what she has to do. I know that Shevchenko, she is the strongest in the division, hands down, without a doubt. But I think that Murphy's size, she can be more effective with her size more so than like Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade, she's known as one of the strongest. She's probably second strongest in the division, but you saw how much of a difference there was in strength, because one thing I think that Andrade was she failed at doing against Valentina Shevchenko was because of her length and her size. I think Valentina was able to control her because of the arm and just her build. I think Murphy, she has a longer frame. Of course, she has a longer frame. She could still fight for the underhooks and control a little bit better than Andrade. She can use those shoulders to press Valentina and make it tough and a lot more physical because she still has that height and that length, whereas Andrade didn't. So Valentina Shevchenko, she could get in on those different angles on Andrade because she was so much shorter. The arms were short. She's only 5'1", so she could control her at like an awkward angle and have success just picking her up, picking her up almost like a little kid, and dropping her. But I think Lauren Murphy, she would probably fare well being a little bit more physical and gritty with Valentina, in close. I think Shevchenko is one of the best technical fighters in MMA. So instead of trying to outskill her, you will have to outwit her and make it physical. You're not going to win a chess match at a distance. It has to be a rough and rugged fight that is off balance and uncomfortable. Like I said in one of my previous videos, you have to make Valentina Shevchenko uncomfortable, for at least 3 good dominant rounds out of the 5. So you have to kind of pick a pace that you need to fight at. And that's why I think, trying to fight at range wouldn't be a good idea for Lauren Murphy because that's where Valentina Shevchenko's countering skills and ability to react and just see the big picture. That's a term I always use, to see the big picture. Valentina has that ability to see the big picture, which, can turn the fight into her fight. I think she has the best boxing, in the flyweight division, but Lauren Murphy has decent boxing. Lauren has decent boxing, but Valentina will have that ability to mix it up, not in high volume, but she will pick her shots and she will make them count. Shevchenko, she will land kicks off the straight left hand or vice versa, and she'll keep it at a pace that's comfortable for her from the outside. So it's too easy to be picked apart at the outside for Lauren Murphy. So Lauren has to take angles, box a little bit, and clinch fast and switch levels with timing, close in early. Though Lauren Murphy has a good, well-rounded offense, her defense isn't the best. So she has to close in and stay away from that left hand and stay away from that jab and those kicks. She can be hit. She can be hit a lot. Going back to the Andrea Lee fight, first round, she was turning red in like the opening minute. So with a very accurate punch like Valentina Shevchenko, you don't want to eat those type of shots. Valentina, her first priority is defense, hit, not get hit. So you will be pieced up by Valentina Shevchenko if you don't close that distance. And then looking back at the Maya fight and the Pena fight, Murphy will have to use her strengths, be very educated, and just look to control every clinch and just be rough and rugged every chance she can on the inside. But she can't be predictable with it. She has to be rough and rugged every chance she can get on the inside, but break at times, clinch in, break, come in at different angles, and just be unpredictable. You can't just be telegraphed with the knees in the clinch. And eventually Valentina will swoop you up and take you down, or sweep kick you, trip you and take you down. So everything has to be unpredictable, but it has to be physical and gritty. So yeah, Murphy has a team and the experience to make it an interesting challenge. But the question is, will it be executed? Will it? I don't know. I don't know. That's something that we just have to see. That's why this fight needs to happen. But, Lauren Murphy, she does make a good argument that she is one of the strongest, one of the most experienced, and her wins do get her to that title shot. And her losses have come against high caliber opponents. But once again, Valentina just shows why she's always above everybody else throughout each performance that she's been having over the past few years now in the flyweight division. So yeah, guys, that's all I got on this one. But let me know in the comment section what y'all think. What can Lauren Murphy do to crack that Valentina Shevchenko puzzle? Can she crack it? Let me know in the comment section. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.